Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. It's been a minute, but we're glad to be back on the airwaves and shouting it out. So, Stadia Party Chat Podcast, episode number 34.
Yes.
Welcome. I'm joined, as always, with my super co host, leveling up the podcast, as always, Nad614 Sebastian.
How's it going, man?
Going
Well,
well.
it's
Yeah,
been a little while. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
yeah, sorry. It's a late night podcast. Sorry about the timing, and thank you for joining me. I know it's a bit of my fault for the late night.
All good. I know, like we've been pretty busy the last 2 weekend. 2 weekends ago, we had the day one raid with Destiny, which was a little bit crazy. Didn't sleep much, and last weekend I think you were out with some friends. So there we go. We'll be
Yeah,
back on track from now on.
absolutely. So what we're about here, we are Stadia Party Chat Podcast, two Canadian gaming enthusiasts, both founding Stadia members who love the platform and enjoy sharing the news, discussing rumors, and having fun at the same time. Tune in, as always, to find the latest on Destiny and Stadia news and rumors. Today is episode 34, so get ready to hear about the TWAB as always. We're jumping into Iron Banner this week, first of the season. Then we're going to talk about what we've been gaming, or maybe we'll switch that up before then. And then, well, mostly it's been Destiny, to be honest. We'll jump into news stories, as always. And there's a little bit to cover. We've been away, so I'll try to skim through the stuff you guys probably have already heard about, and then we'll touch a little bit on the Gamers Summit, which if you hadn't tuned in, there's maybe a couple, one or two drops and some things to look forward to that we'll build upon. So I know that you have been playing only Destiny, so I will jump in with a little bit of Dawn of the Monsters before we jump into Destiny. So Dawn of the Monsters dropped on Stadia as an early release. It actually just dropped to all other consoles, Switch, PS, everything, Xbox, everything today.
All the console.
So Dawn of the Monsters is a really cool like arcade and type game. It's built in Toronto, which makes it that much cooler. The game has a lot of fun mechanics. You evolve your what do they call it? Keiju, which is like giant monster, and you take on invading monsters called the Nephilis, who are trying to destroy cities. But at the same time, you're destroying the city, getting them away.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed myself. Some tips you want to pick up: definitely don't sleep on the shell type monster, Guard. Can't say the name right. Ganiorar. I can't. My apologies. He's the shell type creature. But he has this move where he shells out like or creates a decoy, and the decoy actually takes so much damage, takes all the attention, and enables you to like sneak around back and do mass damage and just basically stay alive
Oh,
in
wow.
these situations. He's the only character who has it, so I'm glad I experimented with them all. But fun
Yeah.
game. I would recommend checking it out.
I remember I just watched you playing because I played for like maybe 5 minutes because I was hoping we could play together. I was
Yeah.
like, but I think it's a couch co-op, which is good. I really like that too. I play a little bit and I was like, oh my god, you can destroy everything. You can pick up a building or like part of the building and use it to fight. And it's funny because you have all the little sign from Toronto, like Tim Horton, but they change the name. I try to remember it. I think it's a copyright thing, but we all know it's Tim Horton. But oh, it was pretty funny. Like all the stuff you can do with it. The control are very basic. It looks very fun to play. It was very fun just to watch you play. So, no, that was good.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, it was good times. But now into the game that's obviously been consuming us.
Yes, exactly. Even my wife say I spend too much time playing video game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had like Destiny. So we had the Witch Queen drop at the beginning, at the end of February, and 2 weeks ago we had the first, the world first raid for Vow Disciple. Very fun raid. During the contest mode, it was very hard. I think we made it to the third encounter. They also extended it to 48 hours because there was an issue with like a lot of people getting booted in the middle of the raid, or like having some error. I know for us, we finished the first part. We got to the first encounter, we got booted, and we had to
Yeah.
restart from the beginning.
Yeah. That's
There was some error or something, but that wasn't the thing that slowed us down. The caretaker encounter, the second encounter, slowed us down. That was a rough one. I think everybody had the same issue. We couldn't get the damage. I think that was a big thing. The damage was an issue, and I was the issue mainly. I forgot to raise the light level on my weapon, but eventually we made it through and got to the third encounter, where we basically just stopped it there because we were like at that point where we were all tired after 48 hours of playing. But I really like the contest mode because it's making it harder. Now playing normal mode, I found it's quite easy.
yeah.
It's a fun and a fun raid. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like it. But it make me really look like DSC. DSC was the same thing. After you complete a few times, I feel like you got the pattern. You know what you need to do. I try to switch it up and do like different thing, get different position, just to make it interesting. But I can't wait for the master mode to come out and do all the triumph, the different like challenge that's gonna come up. So that's gonna be good. Other than that, do you have anything else to say about the raid?
Yeah, I would say the raid was challenging. Before you really go into a day one, you really want the flexibility of, different exotics, different characters to even switch in between, because you really need to be flexible and need to be prepared for any type of
Mm.
situation. Because if we had really switched to like all Titans on Caretaker and just hit them with Thunder Crash, I think we could have melted them like
Yeah.
fast, really fast.
And I think the idea of going with Outbreak Perfected was perfect.
Oh, it's a great
Because
idea.
at the end, like, you run out of ammo. And that was our issue. Not enough ammo, not enough heavy. It was rough. Even though, like, you get the scavenger drop or anything like that, it was never enough. After the third floor, it was like, yeah, we're all out, switch Outbreak, and do as much damage. Now it's not even an issue. Even today, like I ran out of ammo, I just switched to Outbreak. Barely needed it. Like two people
No,
call Nova Bomb, and that was it. So a big difference. But I can't wait for the Master, because the Master is gonna come back a little bit to the contest mode, and it's gonna be interesting. All right, moving on. Other than that, we've been doing a lot of the Witch Queen expansion. So I've been exploring a lot of the Throne World, doing some of the triumphs. So like finding the moth. I think this week there's like two more. I think it's the last two. There is also the Fisher. What do you call it? They're like little like it's like almost like a portal, but it's a white thing. It's a feature, so you have to use the parasite grenade launcher, shoot the ground, so you damage yourself, and like this, your weapon can destroy it. And you have to destroy so many. It's like a secret triumph, and I think it's one of the seasonal challenge you need to do for getting it. But yeah, it's just a couple of them. I've been
show
look
me
up where
those.
the location are they, but like I've been like just going around looking for them. Sorry, what you were about to say?
I'm gonna say you're gonna have to show me some of this. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a few like secrets there and there. There's other stuff like people haven't discovered what they are for. You do the what do you call it, when you see those white orb and he does that movement, you can see the stuff, and there's a counter. You can do either shoot like some sign to really reveal a chest, or jump platform or and stuff like that. There's one where it reveal like some sort of pool of green light, and you step on it and it says, has a message on the side, and they're all different. And some people think like, oh, some of them give you a damage buff, another one give you a jump buff and stuff like that. But we still haven't figured out what it is, or I haven't either. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but it's quite interesting. There's still a lot of secret, and then there's more to do, right? And also with the seasonal activity, we have the PSYOP Battleground. So again, every week they provide a part of the story, which is good. I was playing the one for today, and it's like, oh, there's some twists, there's some morality happening, and it's quite interesting. I really like the fact that you do the battleground. You can open the chest at the end and possibly get I call it the red square like weapon. Basically, the contour is red, so after so many of them, you can craft them. So the seasonal weapon, you can craft them. I was able to get enough of the ground launcher, so I can craft one. Now leveling up, and I can eventually put the mods I want on it. So that's good. And I also have the machine gun. Machine gun is crazy good. I currently have it maxed out. Well, level 16, and you can access all the perk and craft it. And I have it to there, and I think I put on I put up subsistence on it because like I try to remember the magazine. I think it's 60 round, but oh my god, it shoots so fast. It's destroying everything. It's stasis also, so very fun to use. I've been using it a lot. But yeah, the seasonal activity pretty cool. I really like it. I like the flow of the story. It's not like you do it all at once and then the rest of the time it's boring, right? So I like that they separate it per week like this. But yeah, that's been pretty much like all Destiny. Other than that, we're gonna be moving into the TWAB, I guess, right?
Let's swap it up. Should I run share screen or
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
okay.
So basically, the TWAB this week was very small. I know last week we had a little bit more of it. Um, yeah, there's not much basically. They mentioned about the race of the raid, like we talked about. Clan Elysium won the race. I think they won by 2 minutes or something like that. There's another clan that was right behind them, 2-3 minutes before. There's also showing some stats of like how many people completed it, how many people entered the raid. It's just crazy the amount of people. We defeated over, was it, that's not 1 million.
Wow.
That's 1 billion enemy.
And
Um, our total guardian debt. At least we killed more enemy than we die. So I know I died a lot, but yeah, but it's pretty cool. You can see where everybody got stuck. It's pretty much at caretaker because the exhibition, it's like it was right after, and you can see the big difference. Even with like from acquisition, a lot of people had difficulty with the first one. I know we got stuck there for a while, try to figure out like what was the concept and stuff like that. Now it all makes sense. It's quite easy. And a caretaker, I think I did the running for so much that I'm so used to it. It's just funny. But yeah, it was good to see that. And if you're interested, you can buy the jacket, which I don't really care, tell you the truth. It
you
looks
know what?
cool though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not interested either, but it does look pretty neat.
It looks pretty neat. Like the outside is like a tan color, and inside has all the design, those funky design from inside the raid. So it's pretty neat though. I like that. But yeah, other than that, moving on, there's talk about the trials loot and also Iron Banner. So trials, you recognize the auto rifle, it's returning, the summoner, and then we have the well, the thing with the summoner is that it's coming out with like new perk, and now we have the new scout rifle, which apparently it's a beast. It's a must have. It's rapid frame, I think. Yeah, rapid frame. So I love rapid frame because they just like you hold the trigger, they shoot. Think about the trusty is the same thing. And what's the other one? The arc one. Try to
Yeah,
remember.
contingency plan, I think.
Yeah, contingency plan. So those frame are amazing. I freaking love it. That's gonna be a nasty one. So that's a one I'm gonna be chasing for. Well, I don't like to play trials, so I'll figure out a way, and I think I show you a way there. If you follow someone on Twitch playing trials and you react to every time you finish a game, then after so many, you get like XP and you get some engrams. So it's pretty neat way to do things without actually playing it. So at the same time, you can play like something else, right? Moving on, Iron Banners. Iron Banner started today, and there's two weapons they're showing. You got the end cannon and the sword. You still receiving some of the weapon from previous season or previous year. Keeping in mind some of them went away. But like the end cannon and the sword already have that for keeping some of the bounty from last year or last season, I should say. Yeah, the end cannon like looked like quite interesting, just the design of it, and the sword is like it's a vortex one, right? Yeah, vortex frame. So it's a
Yeah,
similar
Razor's
thing
Edge.
as the yeah Razor's Edge. So it has the same type of frame as Fallen Guillotine. So it's quite interesting. Pretty cool. So we'll see a lot of people using those in the Iron Banner, because like keep in mind those weapon, everything dropping in the activity you playing in will have that extra trait that's gonna be like for Iron Banner or like Suros trait. So now I'm looking at all the weapon I'm getting with like I got the God roll and still have the old God roll. I'll use this one because it has that extra trait, right? So it's like almost like you could go through the entire of your vault, delete all, and restart anew because of all the new addition, and now with the crafting. So who knows, right? Um, Moving on, that's pretty much it. There was a odd fix. So there was a lot of issue when they released the Witch Queen. They had an odd fix happening not long time ago. One of the fix was like for the wellspring. So if you don't know, by doing the wellspring every day, there's like a different weapon that drop, and you can farm for the red box weapon. So you can have the attunement, and after so many, you can craft it. Well, before they had some issue where like the weapon wouldn't drop or would drop very rarely. Now they made it so the drop is more often. It's the same thing with the Ascendant Alloyed. I got difficulty to say that word. Alloyed, where like it wasn't dropping, and um, if you were doing the campaign activity, it was like showing it was like uncommon, but now it's like working with the progression. So if you go at heroes uncommon legend, it's like common, then master, it's like uh, I don't know what's the drop rate, but it's like higher, which is good. There was also an issue with Mr. Raoul there at the tower, where like you couldn't, after reset, you couldn't buy another one. So they fixed it, and now you can if you haven't done so, you could buy two, I think, for the price of one. So yeah, there you go. So it worked out. So some issue like that that changed. Also, if you haven't have a chance, you can change your name, but I guess you only have one try, and they're still having some difficulty with that. Some people are not able to do it. Um, but yeah, that's the overall. There was like a couple more issues there, but like overall, they fixed a lot of bugs. There's still something I'm waiting on because there were mention about the blues where like when you reach your hard cap, you were just like stopping getting them, or they were getting auto delete or something like that. So I'm still getting them. So I don't know if they're still working on some of the fixes that they talked about they were going to fix. So well, I guess we'll see, right? And other than that, we're gonna be jumping on the movie of the week. There's like a couple movie there. One with like a Savatoon Tronwall cinematic with some scenery. Like, don't get me wrong, like the Tronwall is so beautiful. Like, it's so well made. I'm so happy about that area. They did a good job, I think. And it's great to see. It's pretty big too when you look at it. Like you can like go a lot of places. I found it's like way bigger than what do you call it? What's the other planet? Not a planet, but
Europa.
the Europa, the moon. Yeah, I found it's way bigger than Europa. So yeah, have a look. It's pretty nice. Have like a nice scenery video. The other one was like someone posted on Twitter. What's his name? Roll. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, roll.
Well, he's dancing because we all know when you go fight him, he's doing his dance before it's the fight. So they're
Hmm.
just showing that. For some reason, yours is not showing. Oh, okay.
No, it doesn't. I don't know. That's okay.
Okay. And moving on, there's some art, which is looking pretty good. Some art based on the raid. And I want to move on to the last piece. One thing that Bungie did is, if you want to support like what's happening in Ukraine, they have this emblem you can get for free. The code is down below there. You just and that's like to like just like say that you're there to support. One thing that Destiny or like Bungie did is that they stopped selling the game in Russia. So like to recognize and support like Ukraine, and recognize the fact that what Russia is doing is not good. But yeah, so it's quite interesting. Nice emblem. It's a free one. Why not? So yeah, and it has like the Ukraine national flower on it. So quite interesting. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this week. Last week there was not much either because there was a world first. There was a lot of explanation about the world first, and yeah, that's it. So that's it for the TWAB. I guess what we're gonna get more in the soon is gonna be the more fixes for the campaign and then for the activity. So hopefully everything's gonna work out fine. We got some new map in for Crucible, which help. They guess gonna be more development to Gambit because they did some fixes on Gambit because Gambit had the issue where um, the what was it? I found we were getting invaded a lot, or like the amount of heavy people were getting and stuff like that. I still feel like it's not well it's not leveled properly. The other day I play and that was after the fix, and I found like the people were always invaded still, and I'm like, holy frig! I thought they fixed that issue. I don't know. There's like people figure out another way or something, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's not my favorite activity currently. I hope they breathe some life back into it. I don't think adding more invaders made it better.
Mm. Well, they reduced the invasion because now it's at 40 and 80, but I still feel like it was happening so quick.
Yeah.
And I found like if let's say if you have 15 moat, invader come kills you, you respawn. By the time you get to where you die with all your moat over the floor, they're already disappearing. So it's like it doesn't give you time to get there, but your teammate can get to there. So something to keep note. One the other thing I found also was people were using Oriana's vow. I don't know what they were doing, but I was getting one shot all the time. I was like, holy frig, they were one shotting people with Oriana's vow. So I don't know if there was like an exotic that helped it out. I guess like if
Well,
you have the legs, because it's an cannon. I don't
if
know.
you have a head from the 30th anniversary, you could put triple targeting. That's all I could think of.
Oh, so you can
Because
headshot easily, I guess.
yeah, because the one of the artifact mods is hand cannon targeting.
Mm.
And if you have the extra
Oh yeah, only
at the end,
costs one. Oh my
yeah.
god. You're so right. But other than that, I really like the artifact where you can now buy all the mods, and like this you can choose. I really like. Oh my god. Talking of Hunter, I found the Hunter is very OP. I created this build where like with the glaive. I know you don't like the glaive, but the exotic glaive, I've been using that for the Hunter, and I go around and every time I kill a Nad with like the melee of the glaive, I become invisible. So I just go around and stab everything and still getting invisible because every time you do your action, you become visible. But as soon as you finish stabbing, you become invisible. And I don't know if it's like a bug or something, Well, like I just go around and stab everything. I don't even need to shoot a gun. It's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
All
No,
right.
I'll just get it when I get it. I mean, I'm due Wellspring here and there, and sometimes I get a red frame, but I just don't know if I could do it over and over again right now.
Yeah, that's just it. Well, that's the other thing. So if you do the exotic activity for exotic glaive with one character, the only way to get it with the other character is by doing the wellspring and eventually a pattern drop. So I'm like, for sure, they're gonna make you farm for that, right? So I did it with my hunter, and now because of that, I need to farm the wellspring with my titan and warlock to get the pattern.
Yep, but that's another grind. Hopefully, they make it a little bit easier for you to do that in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Should we hop into the news?
Yes, definitely.
All right. All right. Welcome to the Stadia news desk. Here we are. Since we've been away for a while, let me just touch on some of the things that have been coming to Stadia while we've been off here. Ryan's Rescue Squad releases on Stadia. So this is Outright Games putting out more of their titles for the children genre. Previously for the March Pro games, we got Ryan's Racing. Now it seems because they let Ryan drive a car, now they have to go rescue him is the logical next step. So Outright Games continue the support. It's awesome. It seems like every month they're just dropping more and more titles. So great stuff. Another cool article. Those Who Remain got rated for Stadia. So interesting title coming out here. This game was just rated, so we're not sure how long it's going to come out. But it was developed by Camel 101, brought to us by Wired Productions and Whispered Games. It's been out on other platforms as of 2020, and it's labeled as a first-person psychological thriller that is story-driven and survival-based in the night. So cool. Sounds like something that would be very intriguing.
Yeah, I think I turned it on for a few minutes. You're talking about Darkwood, right?
No, this is a game that's been rated
Oh,
for Stadia, so has not come out yet. Those Who Remain.
Those Who Remain. Oh, okay, sorry. Because like Darkwood, like it's like quite similar from the sound of it. Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Those Who
Oh
Remain.
yeah.
So yeah, just a game that will possibly be coming out for Stadia there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So you actually played some Darkwood?
I turned it on just to try out some stuff, and I noticed that it's like the top down, quite interesting.
Yeah, top
Play
down.
with the mouse and keyboard. I didn't really like it. I think it's like a controller one. But yeah, quite interesting. I'm probably gonna jump into that more. It's like, yeah, it's just moving a character around and you get to collect stuff. I still haven't figured out all the detail. It make you jump in the game without telling you what actually needs to be done. But yeah.
Are you streaming it?
I can stream it. Yes. I've been like, I just turned it on for 5 minutes at the time, and then because I was running some tests with having some issue with Windows 11, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's hard to pull away from Destiny right now, but
that
if you get like 15 plus minutes, you should definitely throw up a stream.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks interesting, and I haven't got into it yet, and I know it's on the list. I also want to have like a night where we run some Genesis because that game looks really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll plan that soon. So, fans of Rainbow Six Siege, the first season dropped for year 7. They introduced a new operator, and her name is Azame. I'm probably saying that wrong. She's a Japanese assassin. She comes with a brand new map, an additional playlist, and then they did a bunch of balancing and bug fixes. But people who loved Team Deathmatch, they're bringing it back as a permanent gameplay, which I'm a little bit shocked that that wasn't always a thing. But yeah, great news. And lots and lots of fixes, balancing, similar to what you'd see out of Destiny when they're going for a whole brand new year. So if you're wanting to jump back into Rainbow Six Siege, check out the new player. It's cool stuff. I'm sure my brother is all into it. He's a big fan of the Siege games.
I wonder if you can just throw a knife with her. She's just
Yeah,
carrying
she
a
looks
knife.
like she has a throwing knife. That was part of her outfit, or her what is it called? Whatever
Just
her
the character build or something.
Yeah, character build. Mad Streets. So this is a sort of physics-based fighter. So the arms are all like wobbly like that, and you move with the control pads. Like, I don't know how best to describe this, but it actually came from Stadia makers back in the day, when they first released that loadout of makers. And there was 10 titles there. So Mad Streets, it should be out right now. So check it out.
Look pretty interesting. I watched
Yeah,
like
I would
the
say.
video and it looks pretty fun. You can just use like the stuff around you to fight. It's just like I think it's a good couch co-op activity or like game. But I'm pretty sure you can
Yeah.
play online.
This was one I thought you actually may be interested in. I'm not sure if you saw this,
Yeah.
but the Skylines confirmed for Stadia, and then I believe after this article was written, basically just came out the next day. I'm not sure if it's out or not. Is it?
I haven't seen it. Is it supposed to be out right now? Let me have a quick look.
Will
So
arrive.
I know that this is not a new game, but it's new for Stadia. My wife has it for Xbox. She play it. She found that like some of the thing with this game is that it just lets you build. There's no challenge or like a mission. Oh, you have to get your economy to this, but like it has a lot of functionality in the background though. It's more like a free-for-all. You just get there and build your stuff. They probably changed it since then, but no, it's if you like it's like a Sim City type of game. So if
Right.
you
Yeah,
like to
that's what it
create
gives me the
cities and
vibe of.
stuff like that, this is like a perfect thing. I'm so happy to see that coming to Stadia because it's like just another type of game that we haven't seen yet. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
sweet.
not on the library yet, but
No.
I assume it's coming shortly.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's gonna be on the Pro for next month.
Here's a wacky looking golf game. Team 17 and officially arrives on Stadia with Golf with Your Friends. So cool. 3 game modes: tee off and classic mini golf, for shoot pars in hoops, or swap the hole for a goal in a hockey customization. So sounds very Canadian, to be honest.
It looks
Uh,
like more like a fun mini golf type of thing, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's
I
cool.
mean, you gotta joke around with some golf. I mean, golf is one of the only sports games I think that Stadia really provides. So
Well, like they came out with the golf game. It was
the
free.
PGA,
Yeah,
right?
I still haven't tried that one. I've never been a big fan of sports game, but I wouldn't mind like having a look just for the graphic.
I like when they do motion-based golf games. That is fun for me. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be good.
Overcooked. Everybody loves an all-you-can-eat, and it's coming to Stadia this April. So I mean, Overcooked is just a massively successful game. And all you can eat seems to be coming to Stadia. So
That's awesome.
that's pretty awesome that we're starting to see. And who's this from again? It's Ghost Town Games, Team
Mm-hmm.
17. Okay, well,
Team
they're, I mean,
17.
hugely successful. Everyone's heard of Overcooked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
So,
that's a good game to come out on Stadia, and then probably be able to play couch co-op also with this. So that's gonna be definitely a good addition. I've heard of Overcooked. Like I know like it came out on the Switch too, came on other platform, and I've been told it's been a very good game to play.
and now we have jumping to Orcs Must Die
Mm-hmm.
3. So, brand new DLC, April 7th, will include 5 new maps, a new war scenario, a new race, it seems, the Tutara race, new skins, new gear, and plenty more. So pretty cool. It's a tower defense game where
Mm-hmm.
you play as sort of third person on the lines with like these powers and economy at the same time you have to juggle. I believe you and I, we played a couple
Yeah,
rounds.
we play like the story. We made it through like a couple level. It was pretty fun actually. I really like the
Mm,
concept, and they've been like releasing so many updates on it. Like they don't stop it. That's good. Love that.
yeah, yeah, it's good to see, and that was an early supporter
Hmm.
for Stadia. That game's been on there for a while now.
Yeah, exactly.
Assassin's Creed Dawn of Ragnarok. So, I mean, this has just been a hugely successful game for Ubisoft. I believe I saw some statistics on it saying that this is their best selling Assassin's Creed.
Hmm.
And I mean, they just keep supporting it and supporting it. I mean, it seems that I got into the wrong Assassin's Creed when I beat Odyssey. So, uh,
Yeah.
new DLC, check it out. Dawn of Ragnarok has now released. So, wield powers of the god, journey into the Norse myth. So you get new abilities, and that skill tree. I don't know. You played a little bit of it. It's just crazy. The constellations and the stars. I had no
Yeah.
idea which way I was going with that thing.
I
I
finally
just
made it like so you can modify your character or change your player base basically like the way you want. So every time you play a new you play a new character or something like that, you can like modify the way you play. So I like that way they made it with this game. I still have yet to finish the game or like I play a little bit. I ended up bought the game because I think I play on Ubisoft Plus, and then it came on sale, so I just bought the game for $20 or something like that. But I don't have the DLC or any expansion stuff like that, which is fine with me. I'm pretty happy with playing the game as it is, so that's going to be an interesting one.
yeah. So yeah, get through it, and maybe you'll have time for an expansion if it comes on sale. So we'll
Hmm.
see when we get there. But I mean, some of the new ad types, which sounds pretty good to roam around. I wonder, is there like a mode where you can just make it like almost grandmaster?
I don't know. Maybe from the
Like
start
that's
you can start at higher, hard type of things. It's
yeah,
similar to any like single player game. You can choose what level you want to start at, or
right.
even if you go in the menu, you're probably gonna be able to change it. If you found it's too easy, you can raise uh, the level of difficulty basically.
So we have jumping to one of my favorites,
Hmm.
Risk of Rain 2 60-minute demo available now. No Stadia account required. So they have this anonymous mode that they were talking today about at the Game Summit. And through that, you'll be able to just click on this link, which is right here. This is the link you were talking about, which should be front and center on Google.
Hmm.
And then you can just play instantly. I mean, pretty neat. Uh,
Yeah, we'll talk a bit more about it later, but like the idea what they were saying is that if you look up a game on Google search, it should pop up that you can play for free for 60 minutes. And I think that would be perfect. Right now, if you Google it, it's gonna come up saying, oh, you can play on Steam or like, the wiki page and stuff like that. But it should be like on a top priority of Google. Just like
yeah.
when you do the search, it's just popping there, like, oh, you want to try it for free? Here you go, click here. And then it's like you don't need to create an account, you don't need to subscribe or anything like that. Just try it out and see for yourself, which I really like that. And we're moving
Cool.
on basically in the summit stuff right now, right?
Yeah, I think we've reached Google Summit stuff here. So
Well, we can move into that easily. So this one, the
it's part of the
load,
news, I guess, here. So
yeah.
let's jump into the summit as those are sort of the announcements out on Google
Mhm.
related to games. I mean, they said we'll hear stuff more in the future when it comes to games, but I guess we're just waiting for that next blog to really unveil some new stuff, as they said in the summit. So
Yeah, so they're talking about some change coming up soon in the next week. So hopefully maybe some UI change or maybe more game added to the list. They were talking about the low charge porting. So basically what it does is that it's going to create it's going to be advantageous for Stadia because it's going to allow like any developer to port their game easily to Stadia. So they made it so like if you take a Windows-based game using an executable file, you can transfer it easily. And when you do it once, then it's like almost a copy paste afterwards. So if like one company does it, it can like just like create a almost like a machine learn system where like they can convert it almost automatically. So like it's moving forward into that direction where like gamer is going to be easier to be converted into Stadia. So that's a good thing. And I think like there was mentioned like a couple days ago that like, oh, Windows games going to come to Stadia. I think that's the idea there is that the conversion, because it's still Linux based, the conversion is going to be done very easily. I think the only issue, because I watched the one of the developer portion, the only issue is that if you have an older game, and I'm talking about maybe 10, 15 years old, um, there's a possibility it's going to be harder to convert because it's like a 32-bit base instead of 64. That makes sense. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, but that's about it. Other than that, it's going to be easy to transfer. So I'm hoping to see more AAA game. It's going to avoid the developer to pay extra money, extra time to convert their game to Stadia, and it's going to open the door to more games to Stadia.
I hope so.
Hmm.
But yeah, exciting news, and we have, I believe, it's some studios here working. So Handy Games, Legacy Games, Milestones, Nacon, Paradox Interactive, Saber Interactive, Steelwool Studios, Team 17, Wired Productions. I mean, so hopefully all those studios are going to be starting to bring over some awesome stuff.
Hmm. And there's one of them that we're talking about before the podcast is that the creator of Tonight at Freddy, I think I say tonight, it's maybe Nine Night at Freddy. It's like a game that came out a while back, but like they recreated it multiple time. They were showing as like a company, a developer part of it, and but like they haven't came out with any game onto Stadia yet. So that's probably an insight of like what are the games going to come up. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I hope so too. I guess they're more saving the game announcements maybe for
Hmm.
the blog. I
That's
guess
quite
that would
possible.
be their thinking there.
Hmm.
Like I'm looking up some of these developers. We have most of these games, like the legacy games came out with the Adam Wolf, which we saw on today's March Pro, or the March Pro lineup, and then Handy Games. We know their game is one hand clapping.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I hope like all of these studios, just start bringing all of their games. So we have Milestone, which came out with MotoGP, which we've seen as well. It seems that they're just into racing games. The Milestone, um, yeah. I mean, I am looking forward to this absolutely because I just want to see more games for sure.
Exactly. And then like with the announcement, like part of that summit, they were talking about a lot of like the Google Play games. So now on Windows, you're gonna be able to play Android game based. So the fact that opening that to the Windows platform, it's going to make maybe help for Stadia to develop more. And I'm surprised they don't merge Google Play Game with Stadia, because like they were talking about moving more towards the cloud gaming and stuff. So
Yeah.
um, I already have that platform on Stadia, and I feel like Google, what they did is that they just like branch out and have the different like department or different section of Google doing their own
Be different
thing, and they're
companies.
gonna put their money on where like it's like developing the most, right? But don't get me wrong, Stadia is like going up like pretty high. I think like the thing about like the 20% it's gonna be for Stadia and 80% for gonna be for cloud. Don't get me wrong, that's a good thing. You know, the fact that AT&T can say like, oh, here's a game for all my clients, and it's running on Stadia basically. So it's quite interesting, like the way they're moving forward towards too.
I look forward to it. And more to come. More to come.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have the risk of rain we talked about. Is there anything else from the summit that you wanted to touch on?
No, we mentioned about the account less, the immersive stream for games. I think we kind of covered it up a little bit. So it's just like they make it easier for like AT&T to go and say like, oh, I want to give a game. I think AT&T was mentioning they're really gonna release another game. They try to open the market to more company to do that. I think it's a good idea to have the opportunity for multiple companies to release their game, not release their game, but like push out a game to their customer just as an extra thing. But I'm quite interesting about what's coming out with that low change porting, because it's gonna make it things so easier. Stadia is gonna become way more accessible for people now with that free try 60 minutes of that game. They started with Risk of Rain, but there's going to be more coming out on that. It's going to give that opportunity for the developer and indies developer to push out their game out there for people, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I hope they do more things. I was actually just saying that I was actually hoping that they would do something more fan based,
Mm-hmm.
like the good stuff and events like that they had previously. This seemed to be something that you would see at like a conference
Mm-hmm.
for gamers or game developers.
And
However,
that's what it was, right? It was like more for game developer than like for gamers. So it was
but on
just a good
Twitter they
implement.
kind of reached out to everyone. They're like, "Hey, everyone, come see this." So
Yeah, because they wanted the public to look at it, right? But it's giving the opportunity for people to like look at what they're developing, what they're heading towards, and at the same time was saying that to do not give up on Stadia. Stadia is not giving up on us,
yeah.
uh, so it's not going anywhere. It's gonna get even better and better.
Did you see some of the things that Saber Interactive? It was mentioned on the platform here for low change porting for Stadia developers. So Saber Interactive is listed. Do you know some of the things they do? I have it open here.
No, not sure.
They do World War Z, which we
Ah,
know is coming, right?
mm-hmm.
They also do The Witcher 3.
Ooh,
They do Crisis 3. They do WWE, which we saw.
mm-hmm.
So and there's a lot of possibilities for some pretty cool games here.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see Witcher 3. Like, I would like to all have the Witcher series on Stadia. That would be cool. I played the Witcher 1 and 2. I haven't played the Witcher 3, and everybody's telling me play Witcher 3. But I'm waiting for it to come out on Stadia. That's gonna be like a must play, that's for sure.
Yeah, interesting. I've never played Crisis, but I heard good things too. It'd be fun to see that game come out since it seemed to be remastered
Yeah,
last year.
Crisis. I think I played that on PlayStation 2. It's like I'm trying to remember. It's a first person shooter, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm
Yeah.
kind of mixing up with another game where there's a dinosaur, not Ark, but like similar. Um, yeah. Oh wow. Well, the more the better, right? The more the merrier. I think
Yeah, a
like
lot of cool games.
yeah, I think like the
Rudiggz.
more game that they're gonna come out with, it's gonna be giving more choice, right?
Yeah.
So it's always
All
good to
right.
have.
Well, let's call it then. I
Hmm.
think we've hit through all of our news here. Everybody, we want to thank our new sponsors for the day. That is Stadia's Source, basically giving it to us. Thanks
Hmm.
for supporting us, Destiny 2, and the people at Bungie for hitting us with the TWAB. Thank you. I want to thank my co-host, as always, Sebastian.
Yeah.
And as always, here are the closing notes. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and the notifications bells for alert when our podcast hits the air. Leave a comment, tell us about your life in Stadia World in the
Mhm.
clouds. You can find Stadia Chat Podcast, the audio version of our podcast, on Anchor, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts. And shout out to our new sponsors again. As always, you guys support us with giving us the news, so thank you. There at Stadia Source. That's the news for this week. We thank you for tuning in and hearing our thoughts on the news. Look forward to sharing more. I'm Ricardo.
And on
That's
to us, yeah.
Sebastian. And
Make sure to come and check out our channel on YouTube. We're gonna be streaming more and more and posting more video of different game on Stadia. So come check it out.
as always, keep your gaming in the clouds.